It was not until I read a commentary about the first reading that everything said in that reading could be said of the millions of Ukrainians who have been forced to flee their own homeland because of the war, or peoples of other nations who today are also fleeing because of the conditions in their country, because they too are exiles. The reading from Samuel today was written, oh, excuse me, I shouldn't say that. The reading from the second book of Isaiah was written today during the Babylonian exile. You may recall the leaving Egypt and spending all that time, but then they were, you know, conflicts, and they were in exile for the longest time, the Jewish people. So the exile was a devastating experience for the people who felt abandoned and forgotten by God. And so Isaiah, second Isaiah, saw it as his mission to convince the exiled people that God was willing and able to rescue them, and God would come to them and lead them home. So you had that beautiful, beautiful reading. The message we heard spoken by the author of Isaiah could be addressed to anyone today who feels alone, abandoned, who believes God is distant. Not so, for the God who Isaiah described for us led people out of darkness. God spared exiles the hardships of the journey, enabling them to travel by a road cut through mountains so that their road would be level. We heard that the exiles still complained and continued to feel that God had abandoned them, a feeling that persists among many exiles today, not just exiles. We heard what God had to say. Can a mother forget her infant, be without tenderness for the child of her womb? Even if she should forget, I will never forget you. All that was said about God and the exiles of the Old Testament applies to Jesus. The actions of God with the exiles of the Old Testament is now carried on by Jesus, who is revealed by God. We heard how the Jews revolted at that statement, men saying, how could Jesus and the Father be the same? And St. John for us details for us the sameness. God the Father raised the dead. The Father working through Jesus bestows resurrection from the dead to the believer. Whether an exile or not, all of us adopt different attitudes towards God and our relationship with Jesus. We all have filters that prevent us from getting God's message clearly. Some of us run away while others run into the arms of Jesus. Hardships are real and debilitating. How wonderful Lent can be, this opportunity to allow God to speak comforting words to us. Among them, I will not forget you.